careful. You do not want to challenge me.
Does this look like a challenge?
That was the stupidest thing you could have done.
What would happen if Kiros from Mufasa the Lion King faced Shere Khan the Bengal tiger from the Jungle Book? This matchup has sparked a debate all over the internet. This caught my attention too, I ain't gonna lie. And is it interesting because these two characters are very similar in the way they are portrayed. They're both ruthless, cold-blooded executioners, and they don't really care about other lives. And they will stop at nothing to achieve their goals. That is what makes them so similar. If they ever met, there are two possibilities. They would either get along or they would fight for power, and I doubt the first one would be an option. No, I'm sure. It's not happening. Now, the only thing that sets these two characters apart is that Kiros wouldn't kill if you submit to him, as long as you comply with everything he wants you to do. Everything will be fine. But on the flip side, Shere Khan is different. Even if you're on his side, he will harm you just for the fun of it if he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe on the floor. So you're not safe. That is why he's always lonely. Which makes sense, he's a tiger, so tigers are meant to be solitary, whereas Kiros has a pride. He cares about it, and he wants to protect and preserve his bloodline at any cost, so he wouldn't destroy it. And this is why he got so mad when his son was deleted. So basically, if you want to survive around Kiros, don't challenge him. If you want to survive around Shere Khan, well, that's impossible. Sooner or later, he will end you. And the other difference between these two villains is that when you're facing Kiros, you know exactly what's coming for you. So you're always ready. You can predict him. If he's made a decision, you already know that you're dead. Whereas Shere Khan is very unpredictable. You never know when he's gonna make the move. Shere Khan is clever. He uses mind games to lure victims to his side and then gain their trust and strikes when they least expect. That is exactly what Scar would have been if he was not only smart and deceptive, but also strong. I mean, Shere Khan was throwing one of the best lines in live-action villain history. That guy was a menace and also scary. He was one of the main characters in his movie who didn't care about singing. He was straight on to business. Like, if we're being honest, badass villains should have been doing this kind of thing. Singing is for soft protagonists. It kind of makes them seem like less of a villain than they actually are. No, I got it wrong. Let me try that again. Less of a menace than they actually are. I'm not here glazing. We're gonna go over both of their feats and we're gonna use that to help us determine the result. Now, if you watched and pay attention to the Lion King movie, you should have noticed that it was stated and implied several times that Kiros was not an ordinary lion. He was bigger and stronger than the average lion. He was bigger than Obasi, and mind you, Obasi was a large male lion. In fact, he was the biggest lion in his pride. Some people argue that he was a Barbary lion, or at least had some traits of a Barbary lion, and that same Obasi was arguably larger than Mufasa in his prime. These two young adults were already large, slightly larger than young Mufasa himself, and Mufasa was already towering Taka's mother. A fully grown adult male shouldn't be that much bigger than a young adult male. But look at this frame, look at that sheer size difference. I mean, this guy looks like a freaking of a Congo Delta lion. Like, what the hell, man? This guy's dwarfing the very same male lion that in a previous scene looked like a bodybuilder. His females were the size of Mufasa. And remember, Mufasa was noticeably bigger than the average lioness. Not only were these lions large, they were also highly trained. They were keeping up with and taking down males of other prides. It is also important to note that there were rumors spreading about lions taking out other prides, and later on Kiros came to confirm those rumors, and he said that Obasi's pride was the last remaining one. Now the thing that fascinated me the most was their speed. Like, what the hell did I just witness? Like, this lion walked to Obasi's pride while Mufasa and Taka had already fled, and he started throwing remarkable lines. He even lay down a little bit, and off screen he deleted them all and still managed to catch up to Taka and Mufasa while they were running. This speaks to how much muscle strength and endurance they have. This is an insane feat. His pride made other lions look like amateurs. Look at the way they were moving. This is the equivalent of what Captain America is to normal humans. I actually thought Obasi, as big as he was, would have given Kiros a good fight. In his own right, Mufasa was pretty strong. He was able to push this lion away to save his mother, but I won't count him killing Kiros' son because he was caught off guard. He ran and pushed him with his whole body weight from his blind spot. Not just that, Mufasa was able to hold off a few females alone, something that many other prides were not able to pull off. And that same Mufasa later on became Kiros' ragdoll. Now, him fighting against Kiros would also not count that much because this wasn't a fair fight. Kiros was way bigger than him, and Mufasa wasn't fully grown. This fight was pretty much one-sided. Mufasa barely did anything to Kiros, besides the fact that he managed to get Kiros to fall off the cliff by pushing him, but that's just about it. The fight didn't last too long until Mufasa was nearly killed by Kiros until he was saved in the nick of time by his brother Taka, and Kiros then proceeded to cook them both at once. Eventually, Kiros was crushed without really ever having a real challenge, and that was the end of him. Now, from what I saw, Kiros' personality was similar to that of Thanos. Now, Shere Khan only showed up a few times on screen, and those times he showed up were legendary, because of those lines he kept throwing. Whoever directed this movie did a pretty good job. Now, Shere Khan was the most feared animal in the whole jungle. Everyone everywhere knew about him, and they knew how ruthless and evil he was. Shere Khan used pure fear to control the entire jungle. Like, this dude took out the leader of a wolf pack and then dared the pack to do something about it. This guy was pretty much the dark side of this movie. Personality-wise, this guy didn't laugh once in the entire show. Like, I generally don't remember this guy at least putting a smile on his face. Yeah, there could be, but I didn't pick it up. He was just serious the whole time. Now, thing here is, Shere Khan didn't have many feats in this movie, but he did have one feat that actually gave him a lot of credit. The guy fought a pack of wolves, defeated Bagheera, which up until now is not that big of a feat, and fought what is known to be a Eurasian brown bear, who was first gaining the upper hand, but then he outmaneuvered him and he ended up almost killing this bear. Although in this fight it was pretty clear that Baloo was stronger, his speed was just not there. So this was his greatest feat, and then he died to the red flower, which is fire, by the way. Now, there isn't much to say about how strong Baloo was. All that we know is that he was a big, clumsy bear. But still, that's a great feat, especially for a tiger who's battle-scarred and has one blind eye. Now, apart from that, there isn't much that would put Shere Khan above the ordinary tiger. Now, the disadvantage that Shere Khan has with going up against an extraordinary lion is that he's already battle-damaged, he's not in his prime, and he has one blind eye. So that is a great disadvantage if he's to go up against a lion that is fast, big, and strong. And mind you, the only reason he managed to defeat Baloo was because Baloo was slower. He was struggling to keep up with Shere Khan's speed. And speed is something Shere Khan would struggle with going up against Kiros. Now, with all being said, at his current state, I don't see Shere Khan defeating Kiros. He would put up a good fight, but he's not taking a W. Let's be honest, guys. And let's stop being biased. Now, he could actually defeat Kiros in his prime and at full health, because he was flexing these feats at his damaged state. Now, I also do believe that some people say that Shere Khan would win because he's a more popular villain and more fan favorite. People normally have bias and they lean more towards their favorite character. Also, bear in mind that these aren't real animals, this is just fiction. But some of the things here are closer to what they would be in real life, especially in the Lion King movie. The design itself was perfect. This is the closest you can get to real life lions in a movie. They nailed it on the design. The way the normal lions move as well, their low flexibility, that's the closest you'll ever get to a lion in a movie, at least from what I've seen in any movie involving lions. And before the lion and tiger fan bases start fighting in the comment section, I will remind you that this is not what would happen in real life. This is just fiction. In real life, it could go either way. We've seen that tigers normally have better chances of winning against lions, especially when the fight is starting, so don't take this too serious. Now, I don't expect lion fans to be too excited and use this as an excuse to why lions defeat tigers. No, that is not the message I'm trying to convey. Go to the comments and let me know what you think, because I'd really love to know your opinion, and why is that? Okay, so that'll do for the video. I cannot believe that I made this type of video. I just thought it would be interesting, but you guys know that it's not my type of video, and I also thought this would be a very easy video to make since I haven't been uploading at all because I've been so busy and the other videos are time consuming and I normally need to put money into them, and I'm a broke ass nigga, so I'm legit living Peter Parker's life, man. Might as well be a spider nigga. Nigga spider? Wouldn't it be cool for me to wear a Spider-Man mask and walk around with my web shooters? Yeah, so it's kind of tough. So you may not hear from me for a while again. I don't know, that'll just depend on what I'm doing. And yeah, cheerios. See you later, spider nigga. You can call me Crash, cause that's what I'm about to do. The fuck?